Well, it's good to be back, and you might not know I ever left because I never stopped uploading, but yes, I had COVID for the first time, and it kind of just threw my entire life awry. You know, I was doing great. You know, I had gone almost 3 years, never had COVID. I hadn't gotten sick until recently. And yeah, it sucks, man. It was like, it's pretty much over. I mean, I know the pandemic isn't over, but we're at the point where pretty much everyone's just doing what they want now. So it's kind of late to even talk about it, but I got it for the first time. What was that? Did you hear that? That was fucking freaky. Anyways, I don't know. I wanted to do a commentary. I'm not 100% right now, so I don't know if this is gonna be a shorter video or not. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about how I made COVID my bitch. Oh, and when I say that, I'm lying. COVID kicked my ass. It was terrible. It was bad, alright? And I'll elaborate in a second. Alright, we're popping off. This is the, like, 11 p.m. Bed Wars sweaty mode, okay? I'm getting pretty good at it, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so how would I describe COVID to someone who hasn't had it? COVID-19 ripped out my lungs and punched them in the dick. The virus is like if black licorice was an illness. I don't know if I can say COVID, so I don't know if I can actually say it. I'm just gonna censor it out. So how did the vid go for me? Well, day 1 was the day I knew I had it, but I had symptoms the day before and didn't know that I had it. Like, basically, okay, we're gonna call it day 1/2, okay? On day 1/2, I basically, I had a headache, right? I had a headache on day 1/2, but I didn't think anything of it because I had only gotten 12 hours of sleep over the past 2 nights. So I kind of just assumed my head hurts because I didn't get enough sleep. It's pretty typical. I also, I think I took, like, ibuprofen and then I was good, you know? Very typical, happens all the time. I didn't think much of it. I could have had COVID at the time. The day after that, that was the day I found out. It was a normal day for, like, the first half, right? I did whatever I do in a normal day. I just kind of went about my business. I didn't go, like, out of my house. So, like, I didn't really spread it to anybody. But I still just went about my normal routine. I didn't really do anything different. Then about, like, 3 p.m. on that day, I was awake for, like, maybe 6-7 hours I was awake. I was like, going upstairs to, fill my water bottle, right? My parents are like, oh, by the way, we have COVID. We just tested, we have COVID. And I'm like, well, shit, I don't know what to do, you know? It just caught me off guard. I mean, that day, I basically, woke up with a headache, I had some congestion, I also was waking up, like, in the middle of the night, like, a couple times, like, cold and shivering. You know, when you get sick, you kind of, you get, like, really cold, you know? So you're walking around with a big-ass blanket, you're looking like Ralphie from A Christmas Story, just wrapped up in, like, warmth and, like, blankets and clothing and shit, right? You just become a cold, shivering mess, and that was what I was like that night. I didn't get terrible sleep. I also had a bit of congestion, you know, a bit of trouble breathing, but nothing crazy. You know, it was basically cold symptoms, right? Then I found out I was sick, and then I was like, it was panic mode for me, you know? I was freaking out. I was like, what do I do? Basically, I never had it before. I was pretty scared, you know? COVID has become a very, like, scary thing. You know, people talk about, like, oh, he's got the vid, oh, that's terrifying. You know, it's not as bad as, like, when it started. I am actually vaccinated and boosted, and I have been for a long time, so I was never really at risk, but I was still really scared. My bed is gone. I'm not gonna last very long. I never said I was good at Bed Wars. I don't know, maybe I did say that. I just wanted to play, okay? I think it's a good thing to play during commentaries. I was scared. I mean, the only thing I have medically that would put me at risk of getting really sick from COVID is I have asthma, right? I have asthma. I think that's what made me scared. I do have anxiety for years. Especially recently, I've done a really good job of managing it. Lots of tools to handle any situation I may encounter. But still, it was a really terrifying experience for me. It was a real curveball, you know? Like, anxiety-wise, I'd been doing great. And then COVID comes along, and then it's like, oh, now it's terrifying, you know? Honestly, I think overall, my COVID symptoms were basically, it was like having a cold. It was a glorified cold with a spooky name that made me anxious, you know? In reality, it wasn't that scary, but because it was COVID, I was really anxious. The anxiety made it bad. If it had been just a normal-ass cold, I would have been fine, but because I knew it was COVID, it became a lot worse, if that makes sense. As I was saying, the first half was pretty chill, pretty low-key, and then I found out, and then it was panic, pretty much. I basically just laid on the couch all day, and I also watched John Wick for the first time, the original movie. It was pretty good, I guess. I don't know. It didn't, like, wow me, I guess, but it was a pretty solid movie. It was a pretty good movie to watch when you're sick. I don't know. Another thing I did on day 1 of having the vid, right? I bought myself a COVID present, okay? Basically, I had a journey ahead of me. I was sick. I was a little nervous. I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be a thing for a while. My channel is going to be hard to run while I'm sick. It was just a lot of thoughts flowing through my brain, and I needed to relax. So to make myself feel better, I got myself a present. I got myself this Patrick Stump Funko Pop for my collection. Yes, I'm one of those weirdos who spends, like, an unholy amount of money on Funko Pops. And yeah, it's not a problem, okay? I can stop anytime I want to. But yeah, I do collect those. So that was my present. I got myself a little present. It made me feel better a little bit. I felt better for like 5 seconds. And that was worth it in itself. So the first night sleeping with COVID, it was pretty rough. I couldn't stay asleep, you know? I was like constantly waking up. It's one of those nights where like you go in and out of sleep like 100 times, and like because you can't stay asleep, time doesn't really go by any faster. So you basically, I was in bed for like 12 hours, and it felt like I was awake the whole 12 hours the way time was going by so slow. It was very, very bad. I could not sleep. I literally could not sleep. It was rough. I had, like, you know, the headache, the congestion, all that, the body aches. Day 2 was probably the worst as far as symptoms go. And then beyond that, it basically got better and better and better progressively until day 7, I'd say, when most of them were cleared out. Like, by day 7, I think the only thing I really had was a lot of phlegm. I was coughing up phlegm. That was basically it. Okay, I'm one of those people who, whenever they, as much as sniffle, okay, goes onto Google and starts Googling symptoms and trying to figure out what's wrong like I'm a doctor when I'm not, and it never goes well. But I can't stop doing it. A lot of panic Googling happens, okay, long story short. But yeah, I don't know. I was more anxious than I was sick. Hold on, we're gonna kill this guy. Oh shit. Never mind, guys. We're just gonna... Well, rip bozo. There, yeah, that's it. This recording is over. So here's like, okay, I think the worst thing about it was, well, the fact that I was sick, obviously. It was being sick and it was me having anxiety. That made it bad. That made it pretty bad. But other than that, anyone would say that is the worst part. Here's the worst part for me about COVID, is that I basically couldn't do the things I wanted to do. Like, I have a mindset of, like, I gotta be doing something productive, like, very frequently. I have to, like, be working on my channel or working on, like, whatever. I have to be doing productive things. Even if that productive thing is just, oh, I'm gonna do something that I enjoy. That's productive in my head, okay? But I gotta be doing something. I couldn't do anything. Like, I couldn't even sit up in my fucking chair at my desk because I was just, like, so sick. I had to lay down. I couldn't even sit up for, like, a good, like, 4 or 5 days. I couldn't play a lot of Minecraft, which was bad. I got into maybe around day 6, I think. I was getting into Minecraft again, but for the first few days, I couldn't really play Minecraft. I couldn't watch, like, YouTube videos I enjoyed. That's another thing, by the way. My breathing was difficult enough where I couldn't even watch, like, really funny content on YouTube or anywhere else because I would have to constantly stop to breathe. Like, I would have trouble breathing if I ended up, like... I would have trouble breathing. I'm sorry, that was fucking funny. I just fucking killed him, stole the bed. I couldn't watch funny things because I would start laughing and then I'd stop breathing because I can't, like, maintain that balance, and then, like, I just couldn't watch funny things. I couldn't watch, like, YouTube. My lifestyle doesn't really accommodate for relaxation enough, and I kind of learned that once I had COVID and I needed to relax because, I don't know, I'm just doing a lot of hyper stuff. I'm constantly in, like, activity mode. I gotta do things all the time, and if I don't, it's gonna be bad, right? I couldn't, like, work on my channel my YouTube channel. I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't record new content. Mostly, like, I was tired all the time and all that, but most of all, my voice was fucked. My voice was fucked. Like, there was, like, for, like, a full week, I couldn't really talk. All I could say is, like, yes, no, dino nuggies. That's pretty much it. It's just like, oh, are you thirsty? Yes. How you feeling today? Dino nuggies. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of... I could only say phrases. I couldn't speak in complete sentences. Normally, I'm pretty talkative around my family and such, but I literally couldn't speak. My voice was worn out and my, like... You know how normally... You kind of have a balance between breathing and talking. Like, you kind of know how to talk and also breathe at the same time so you don't die. You know what I mean? I lost that balance. I lost that balance. I had to basically... Oh, these are final kills. Good. I had to relearn how to talk and breathe at the same time. For like a whole week, it was like I was breathing in through the nose for 5 seconds, holding my breath, and then breathing out of my mouth for 7. But I couldn't talk because I was so fucking focused on keeping myself breathing that I couldn't talk at the same time. Like, I needed to relearn the balance of breathing and talking at the same time. I couldn't breathe on autopilot. I was just breathing consciously. That was the other big reason why I just couldn't record new videos. And basically, I have had a pretty good balance for a long time. Like, I upload every day. I've uploaded every day since I started back in August. And basically, I couldn't stop. I was afraid to stop. I didn't want to stop uploading at all because I knew what might happen if I stopped, you know? So basically, I was like, I gotta get something out. Anything's better than nothing. That's the mentality. Gotta upload something. So I had a good amount of stuff prepared before I got sick. And I was able to edit those and get them out accordingly. But eventually I ran out of videos that were pre-recorded. So I did re-uploads for like 2 days. I basically took old videos and just re-uploaded them and called it like a throwback. Like, I had a throwback Wednesday and a throwback Thursday. That's what I did. However, I was careful about the videos I chose. I purposely chose videos that were, first of all, at least like a month old. Like, I didn't want to put anything out that was too new. I also wanted to make sure that the videos I put out were very unseen, like very low view counts. So I figured most, if not all, of the people who actually saw them wouldn't have seen it before, so it would be fine. That's what I had to do. Eventually, I was able to muster up enough courage to be able to actually, like, record something. My voice was still a little bad, but good enough where I could get something, you know? It was frustrating, you know? I never wanted to have to do that. Oh, GG, guys, GG. You can't hear me. The dragon is loud. GG. GG. We popped off, guys. 2 final kills. Bed broken. Top tier gamers right here. I was pretty much back to normal day like 9 or 10, maybe 11. It was fine. I'm pretty much good now. I'm not 100%. My voice is a lot weaker than usual, and if you stick around and watch my long form videos consistently, you'll know that my voice gets so fucking worn out so easily. Like, I start off the recording like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And then I end it like, Hey everybody! Thanks for watching!" That's what it sounds like. I did a lot of things to try and stay relaxed while I was sick. Here's one thing I did, right? That's very shocking and uncharacteristic of me. I stopped drinking caffeine, period. No caffeine. Those who know me would be surprised because, fuck, he clowned me. He played me like a goddamn fucking fiddle. That was embarrassing. I'm one of those people who fucking, like, functions purely because of caffeine. I drink coffee every day. If I don't, I get serious headaches. I get withdrawal headaches whenever I don't drink coffee. I think that's very bad, but it's true. I get withdrawal headaches if I don't drink coffee. It's an addiction. It's an addiction that we basically write off as acceptable. I'm always tired to a certain extent, I feel like. Coffee helps. Coffee helps. My thought process was caffeine might make me more nervous. I do not need to be more nervous right now. I'm gonna stop drinking coffee, stop drinking soda with caffeine. You know, I needed to have some sort of beverage for my breakfast, because, like, my breakfast is only coffee. I don't eat breakfast, I just drink coffee. I had to replace it with something, so I did something I never thought I'd ever do in my wildest dreams, alright? I drink tea. I drink tea, and I don't mean like Arnold Palmer or like the Arizona from the can. I mean I drink like tea. I got a fucking tea bag, not the emote, but like the actual like item. and I like dunked it in the water for like 3-4 minutes. I steeped it, as they call it, and I actually made myself cups of tea for like a week. It helped a bit with my throat. I think with tea, every time I drank it, I hated it more and more. I don't know if that's just me. I still drink the Arizona teas and stuff, like out of the can. Those are good. You know what I just thought of? Another thing I did was I took Dayquil once. I was pretty congested, everything. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to take Dayquil. That'll help, right? Okay, here's just the order of events. Okay, for context, I hadn't eaten anything all day. I took Dayquil. I drank some water. I had a slice of pizza. And by a slice of pizza, I mean like 2 by 3 inches, okay? And then I got nauseous for like 2 hours. I don't know if it was the Dayquil and the pizza, or if it was the Dayquil on an empty stomach, or if it was the water somehow. Maybe my water was tainted. Taint. I'm sorry, I'm an immature dumbass, but I don't know how that happened. But here's the thing. The Dayquil, it made me nauseous. Like, horribly nauseous. I didn't throw up, because I'm very good at holding in my nausea. I was fine after that, pretty much. Like, my congestion was very good after that one Dayquil. Like, even, like, long after the effects wore off, it's like the Dayquil, like, cleared me out once, and then I was good. I've done a very bad job of summarizing this whole thing, but long story short, I had COVID. It was a real bitch. I'm pretty much good now. I was doing great. I had great ideas for short form videos, blah, 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 right? Then I got sick. That's what life does to you, you know? So basically you're like, life, I'm doing great. You're awesome. And then life is like, great, let me take these lemons and shove them down your eye sockets. All right, I'm going to switch up from the Bed Wars for a bit, because there's a game I have been playing a lot of. You know, since I've needed to relax a lot recently, I took up the most relaxing game Hypixel has, Murder Mystery. So I'm recording this like an hour after the Super Bowl ended. I don't really care about sports, to be honest. I don't really watch them. I don't pay any mind to them. The Super Bowl, I don't know. Something about it is interesting. I did watch it beginning to end. Best part of it, I'm going to say right now, was fuck. No, there was no fuck involved in the Super Bowl. Not that I saw on TV. My favorite part of the Super Bowl was Rihanna's performance, halftime show. Very talented artist, obviously. She did amazing. That was awesome. I loved that. I didn't say this publicly, but I knew the Chiefs were going to win. I called that shit from a mile away. All right. Literally all the analysts were like, oh, Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. No, Chiefs won. I knew. Also, I've recently been made self-conscious that I say Chiefs weird. Okay, be like that. Damn. People have told me recently that I say Chiefs wrong. Apparently, it's Chiefs, right? But I've always said Chiefs. Tell me right now there's one viewer who says Chiefs, okay? Tell me, please. Make me feel better about myself, please. Yeah, interesting game. It was really close. Pretty good. Best part of the Super Bowl is the halftime show. And behind the halftime show, the best part is the food. And after that is the commercials. Okay, the commercials are great. I actually made a point to only leave to piss and fill up my water or get food while the game was back on, because I wanted to see all the commercials. Oh yeah, MrBeast was actually in, like, the, MrBeast was on the TV. It was crazy. Like, I don't even know. Like, I knew MrBeast was gonna be there because, he tweeted it. I swear to God, my reaction was, like, we were just watching the TV. I wasn't expecting it. Then I saw Jimmy, and I was like, oh my God, it's MrBeast. It's Jimmy. I know that guy. I've been watching him since, like, 2018, 2019. I've been watching him for so long. I know that guy. You know what I mean? It was kind of like that. Not as dramatized, but actually it was more dramatic. I was like, oh my God, you know? It was pretty cool. Super Bowl, overall, pretty solid. The role football has in my life is I watch the Super Bowl, and I watch football mindlessly in a hotel room when I have nothing to do. Those are the two applications football have for me. And yeah, honestly, that relationship I have with football is good enough for me. I don't think I need to bring more of it into my life, but I don't know. Okay, one more thing I'm going to talk about before I leave, okay? Call Me What You Like by Lovejoy's out. That song is so fucking good, okay? I don't even know how to describe it. It's like the emotions it makes me feel are insane. It is a great song. I've been a fan of Lovejoy since the beginning. This song is awesome. It's like the beginning of a new era for them almost. Like, it's awesome. I have that song on repeat, and I will have it on repeat for a while. Okay, I'm pretty much over the whole recording thing, but I don't want to end on a bad note, so I'm going to try and do something impressive before I'm done for today, okay? 11 p.m., don't care, I'm still going. At the very least, we're going to have a decent round, okay? Oh, I almost got Game of Thrones style trapdoored into a spiky pit. Into a pit of spikes. Yo, GG guys, that's a great ending, right? You barely saw any of it because I cut most of it out. But yeah. Well, now you know where I've been for the past couple weeks. I actually did a pretty good job of covering up my experience with COVID, but now we have broken the silence. You now know what it's like. If you haven't had it, probably not. I don't think my statements have any medical value, and you shouldn't take them as such. This is, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like a lot of YouTubers talked about their experience with the virus, and I wanted to have my fun, even though it happened way too late to make it a relevant thing to talk about. It doesn't matter, all right? I'm just glad that I'm feeling better and I can get back to making more awesome content for all of you. I want to do better than once every 2 weeks for the long-form stuff. I want to go every week, once a week, every Saturday. We're going to go for it. Don't count on it entirely, but I'm going to do my best to make that happen, okay? I'm working on everything and the scheduling and all of it, all right? We're going to try and make it happen. Anyways, thank you for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, and keep vibing.